Ladies and gentlemen, the following is another fantastic episode of the Wrestling Fans Podcast, Ringside Society. In one corner, we have the Monarch of Mardi Gras, the Baroness of Bourbon Street. When she's not co-hosting Ringside Society, she goes on crazy misadventures, such as looking for the fabled Cobra Kai dojo, dressing up as the big boss man, and trying to arrest people and give them hard time, and also ruining the Knight family's dinner. Louisiana's own Kathy Knight. In the second corner, we have the greatest thing on God's green earth. No, we're not talking about money, Mary Jane, or Popeye Spinach. He is the tranquil dart of Ringside Society, Delaware's greatest American hero. And whenever he goes to Taco Bell, especially on Tuesdays, he asks for a chief burrito because he loves the combination of chicken and beef. It takes two to make a thing go right. He's Rob Bass, and you are not. And the last corner we have that ocean crossing, straight up Boston, flight catching, shot glass snatching, always moving, ready for battle, fresh off a trip from Seattle. No cap, straight facts, the worldwide starboy, Remy Blue. But it's not about us tonight. You see, well, we don't have a special guest normally, not like 99% of the time, but what we are doing tonight, more specifically, is we're going to be talking about a certain topic. A lot of y'all that are watching right now, listening right now, and us here, we also encourage fan interaction. You're going to have your own opinions, but what we're going to do, we're going to each give our top 10 female wrestlers that we think AEW should hire. And AEW has had a lot of wrestlers on AEW Dark over the years. And also but also we can't forget our top 10 male wrestlers that we feel WB that we feel AEW should hire as well too. And pretty much you're gonna hear some popular names. You're probably gonna hear some names that have never even been on AEW Dark. But the names you hear, I would say if you hear them, definitely check them out because there's a reason why we're actually saying, hey, AEW should definitely either sign these people or at least have a look at them and have them on AEW Dark. So with that being said, Rob, Kathy, how are y'all doing tonight?
Pretty good.
Yeah, Mark.
All right. So um and the people that we're actually going to give are actually going to be people that are actually not signed to any company. That is WWE, of course, obviously AEW, Ring of Honor, because Ring of Honor is actually part of AEW as well, Impact, and also New Japan and Major League Wrestling and Stardom, because Stardom signs, their people are under contract too. So those seven right there are people that our picks are not signed to any of them. So with that being said, um we're gonna we're gonna go with the ladies first, because women's wrestling sells as well too. I mean, come on, Kathy drives like 5 hours just to see it. I actually got up at 4:30 in the morning to catch a 6:30 bus to go to pretty much near Philadelphia, more specifically Westville, New Jersey, to see women's wrestling, CCW. So it definitely sells. If it can get me out of bed at 4:30 in the morning, that says a lot. Anyways, um, Kathy, let's go ahead with you. Who are your top 10 that you feel should be signed to AEW?
All right, so a lot of this list we've actually had on the show, or they've been on AEW, in on Dark or Elevation, or actually on Rampage or Dynamite. So here we go. So we'll do the men first. Top 10 men AEW should sign. One, the bounty hunter Brian Keith. He's been on a tear lately. He's in Reality of Wrestling. He's in New Texas Pro. He's gone outside of Texas to wrestle. I think he would fit in with AEW. Think he'd fit in a little bit more than WWE. Just because of his character. He's the bounty hunter, so he looks pretty cool doing his thing. Number two, he's actually been, if you've watched Dynamite when they're in Texas, he was part of the staff trying to get. I think it was when Samoa Joe and Wardlow were fighting, and they had a bunch of staff come in. One of them was Mysterious Q. So that's number two. He's also in Reality of Wrestling, and you've seen him in New Texas Pro, and places outside of Texas also. He's actually with Brian Keith as the Texas Pillars, if you've seen that before. And we've had Mysterious Q on the show on Ringside Society. So that's number two. Number three goes along with what I just said about being in the staff when Wardlow was there. And he's also been on our show. Number three is Izzy James. He's also been on he's been on Dynamite as extras. He's been on Rampage. He's wrestled as on Dynamite or Rampage before. I think it was Rampage. Uh Big Bill beat him up. Poor thing. I feel bad for Izzy, but Izzy's tried like in everything he's done. So that was number 3. Number 4 uh goes along the lines of there's a certain person that showed up in AEW named Saraya, and I would like to see her brother Zach in AEW. He's been pushing for, he said it's time, and he's appeared on AEW for Soraya's first match there at Full Gear versus Britt. So that's number 4. Number 5 ties in with number 4. Could be a tag team or by himself. Saraya and Zach's brother Roy Knight. Roy just had a birthday. If he ever sees this, happy birthday. And they could either tag team as the UK Hooligans like they did in England, or they could fight each other, or just do singles. So let's see, where are we at? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Number 6 we've had on the show before, and he's in Rob's neck of the woods. I picked Mr. Grimm. He would have a lot of good matches with like Will Hobbs and Wardlow and all the big men, and he doesn't even have to fight big men. He could fight whoever. I think he'd be a good fit. So then let's see, 7. We've had on the show before too, and he actually wants to come back on the show at any point. He's another Reality of Wrestling superstar, Jay Alexander. He's making a tear in Texas, and I know he wants to be in a major company at some point. He's more leaning more toward WWE, but I think he'd fit in AEW as well. And then number 8, he's also in Reality of Wrestling, and he's wrestled in Wildcat and other places. Number 8's Edge Stone. He is, I believe he's Reality of Wrestling's champion right now. So he'd be a good fit. I know he was in WWE as an extra. He was the one that jumped the railing without using any assistance, and everybody went crazy for that. But yeah, I think he'd be a good fit in AEW too. Number 9 used to be in MLW. I don't think he's there anymore. He's another Reality of Wrestling superstar, Gino Medina, which would be kind of weird because Roxanne's in WWE and he'd be in AEW. But I mean, he'd be a good fit with a lot of the, he'd have like really good matches with Ray Phoenix. Could see him wrestling, that kind of style. And then number 10, we've had on the show before, and he's actually been trained by Cody Rhodes, and he made MJF's rings that he keeps winning. So number 10, I went with Diamond Sheik. He'd be another good guy, another big guy to wrestle, like Will Hobbs and Big Bill and everybody like that. So I could see him, roughing it up with the big guys. So that was the men. Top 10 women. Well, you didn't make my list, Leroy. I'm sorry, but maybe you make the other two guys' list. But I'm rooting for you too, still, even though I didn't put you on the list. I'm sorry. All right, top 10 women. First, she's been on AEW before. She's
Okay,
actually okay. Go ahead.
so that was your 10, right?
Yeah, top 10 men.
Awesome. Okay. I'm surprised you didn't. I'm surprised you didn't pick this one person, but I'm surprised you didn't pick a certain person, but I have him on my list, but I'm a wait a bit. You're gonna hear, but let's just say he almost got the for a brief couple of weeks he actually got the Lance Von Erich treatment, but I'm gonna leave that for later. You might know who it is, you might not, but let's just say you see this person every day, every time you go to reality wrestling shows. Rob Bass. I want let me
All
know.
right.
Let me know who you got for the man.
All right. And Nasty Leroy didn't make my list, but I want him to be on 1CW's roster so I can work with him someday. You know what I mean? So
Sorry,
we're going to have to
sorry,
try and make that happen.
sorry to cut you. Before you go, for those of you watching or listening, if you have your own list or people that you think AEW should hire, definitely please share it with us. Leave it in the comments below, whether it's Facebook, whether it's Twitter, whether it's YouTube. Don't be shy. You know, feel free to let us know who you think should actually be hired by AEW for this year. Rob, go ahead, man.
All right. Now I'm going to start off with the because I have Izzy and Mr. Grimm written down here, and Kathy mentioned them, so I'm going to get those two off the bat right now. Okay. Now then, next after those two, I have Black G's. I got Miles Millennium. See, a lot of these guys, I might be biased on a lot of these people because I'm friends with them and I work with them and I know them and stuff, and we've had them on the show. So, yeah, I'm biased. I'm hometown here. You can cuss me out and yell at me and stuff, but it's all right. You can make your own list if you don't like it. But yeah, I got Miles Millennium on there. I got Killian McMurphy on there. I don't know if y'all have ever seen him, man. That guy, he's a great. He's like classic heel. You know what I mean? Like he no merch, no podcast, no not. Yeah, heels don't do that. Yeah, Killian's the man. I got a tag team on here. Well, they're really like a three-person tag team. Primal Fear. It's Matthew Omen, Adrian Soriano, and Gabe Hodder. Those guys, man, every time I watch them, they're awesome. I mean, I've got to see them. I got to work with them. They're cool. I got Darius DC Carter on here, man. That guy, I don't know how he's not on there right now and stuff, man. I don't know, man. I love him, man. I love his work. He is awesome. Yeah, I got Izzy right here. Then I got Ty Awesome. He's one of my trainers and stuff, man. That guy, he every match he puts on, man, he always delivers. He always delivers. Am I back?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I was on Ty Awesome. I was on Ty, I think. Yeah, I gotta get him. He's my trainer and stuff. And then Joey Ace. He's always been up there too. Joey Ace, he's a good East Coast guy. And number 10, I got on here. Last one on here, Chico Adams. A lot of people don't know about this man, but this man puts in work. He's always working with the dungeon. He's always doing something. You know what I mean? This guy puts in work everywhere he goes, and yeah, I'd love to see him on there. And also, special shout out Gino Rivera. I'd love to see him on AEW also. Full time.
That is a pretty good list. Both of y'all. Um, I'm. I got a feeling who I know you're gonna pick for the females, Rob. I already know who you. I got a good feeling who I know who I think. I think I know who you're gonna pick. Kathy, I'm very surprised, but that's not a bad thing. I mean, hey, you know, um, I like a good shocker. But so in case, so for my list, um, I'm gonna go ahead and do this right now. So my list, and I forgot to tell you, y'all could have the same picks. That means yes, we great minds think alike. I mean, if you think one person's the same thing, it's cool. You didn't have to like switch it. But anyways, what's the US? I would love to be on ICW, and okay, that's cool. All right. So with that being said, my list for 2023. So the first one, Kathy and I got the same one, Mysterious Q. Um, he's a great athlete. He's a tall guy, but he could move very quick. And from the first time I saw him, which was like way back in 2013, 10 years ago, I was like, this guy is going to be a champion. And he's been a champion in reality wrestling. But now I think it's time for him to, get that knock on his door and be like, hey, come work for us. We've seen what you're doing. You're doing great. It's time for the not just the people on the indies and America to see you, but the whole world to see you. So I'm hoping Mysterious Q actually I think he's definitely one that they should hire, and if possible push him to the top because he could definitely go. The second one is a guy that a lot of people may not know, or if you know him, hey, good for you. But a man by the name of Miles Hawkins, he actually wrestled with Action Andretti on AEW Dark twice. Actually, they were a great tag team. I saw the chemistry with them, and I was like, wow, they should definitely hire both of these guys. Unfortunately, not Miles, only Action Andretti was hired, and I'm glad for him. He's doing great. Um, I've talked to Miles, and I told Miles, I'm like, yo, look, I hope you're next, man, because you're just as good. But that's one guy I definitely like to see get the shot as well too. The next person on my list is actually a guy from the Pacific Northwest area. He's actually been doing his thing for a bit. And actually, when he had a match against Brian Cage, he gave that man a run for his money. I think the next time they meet, if he's hired by AEW, Brian Cage is going to be in some big, big trouble because this guy was going toe to toe with him. And this is a guy by the name of Shaft. No, not Samuel L. Jackson, not Richard Roundtree. No, this is a different Shaft. Shaff. And if you haven't seen him, check him out. He's a big guy with tattoos. He wrestles in jeans, but the man can definitely go. And Brian Cage will tell you that too. My fifth one is actually a guy who takes me back to the days of when Shane Helms was a superhero. That's right, the Hurricane. Um, and I'm pretty sure I would love to see the interaction between this guy and Shane Helms. I know the Pacific Northwest is going to know this guy, Jaden. He's been on, I think he's been on AEW once or twice. He dresses like a superhero. As a matter of fact, when we had Derek Shaw on this show earlier this week, he actually had him in a reversed fireman's or Death Valley driver, and Jaden landed on his feet, and that match was hella impressive. And I hope to see more of Jaden, but he's my number five. Oh shoot, well, not my number four. My number five is actually a man who I'm surprised once again, Kathy, you did not put on your list. I don't know. I guess you're trying to shock me or whatever. You're trying. I don't know, but this man once got the Lance Von Erich treatment for a couple of weeks by Reality Wrestling, and now he's doing his own thing. I'm talking about Will Allday, aka Will Lockhart. Um,
There's
they
a
once
reason
had
I didn't pick him. The reason
is
is he there's a reason I didn't pick him. He wants to go to WWE. He said he would in podcast before he would fit in WWE better than AEW. So that's why I didn't pick him.
well, you can't always get what you want, but if you try sometimes, you get what you need. I know I'm not the best singer, but I would say he's definitely one they should hire, and I'm pretty sure he wouldn't mind. At least at the end of the day, it's exposure, right? It's exposure you're getting, and you're getting and I'm not trying to talk money, but I think you're getting a pretty big paycheck when you work with AEW. So hey, that's my fourth pick. I think they should hire. I think if they sweeten the pot, he would change his stance. That's just me though. I don't know the man's mind, but I would. I'm like, if I want to go to WWE, but Tony Khan says, yeah, Remy, come over here, man. Okay, well, what's on the table for me? I'm like, okay, I like what you're saying, Tony. I'm in. You know. So my next um pick is a guy. Oh, and I'm telling you, if they hire this guy, I hope they put him in a storyline with Daniel Garcia, or they make a storyline where they're either a tag team or they're going against each other. And they were a tag team before. I know all of our upstate New York viewers and listeners, or and also our hardcore indie wrestling fans would know who I'm talking about. My number six pick is Blackwood. Kevin Blackwood. He used to be in a tag team with Daniel Garcia called the Buffalo Brothers because they wrestled as a tag team up in Buffalo, New York. And the funny thing is, they did team together in AEW before Daniel Garcia got signed, and then Kevin Blackwood and Daniel Garcia got into. Actually, I think Kevin Blackwood got the worst of it, and he more recently made an appearance as an opponent of Daniel Garcia. That was a pretty good match, and I'm hoping that they actually um, pull the trigger and write that check and sign Kevin Blackwood, because that'd be a great thing. He has a unique look. If you don't know him, check him out. He's the guy. He's a guy with blonde hair, and he has like a dark, um, like a whole sleeve, but it looks like one big black arm. Um, Definitely check him out. Anytime people mention Blackwood, I'm like, yeah, I know who that guy is. The guy with the black arm, and he's no joke in the ring either. So that's my sixth pick. My seventh pick are a tag team of identical twin brothers um who are actually um TikTok, I guess you could say, stars. They have a large TikTok following. I think they'd be great for AEW. They're not the biggest, but they're pretty entertaining. I would definitely say Chris and Pat, the Voros twins from up in Canada. They are two people that should definitely um, be chosen to be a part of AEW as well. My eighth pick is a man who kind of reminds me of a young Hulk Hogan. He has the red, white, and blue and everything going on, and I honestly think he'd be a great fit as well too. If for a big guy being AEW. I'm actually talking about Alec Odin. He wrestles out of MCW. Robbie may have seen him before. I believe he wrestles out of the Delmarva area, as you call it. But he would definitely be one I would definitely choose to be in AEW as well. My next pick is a guy who actually impressed me for 10 whole years. 10 whole years. This guy has impressed me. I like the way he moves. I've talked to him a couple of times. As a matter of fact, he's the only one out of this whole list that I have ever taken a picture with. And I'm just amazed every time I see him wrestle. I'm talking about one half of the Neon Blondes. I know I said tag teams count, but and I didn't put the whole tag team, but I will show you why I didn't. I'll reveal. You'll see why I didn't put the whole tag team. I'm talking about Facade, the Neon Ninja. That's right. He's one half of the Neon Blondes. And Rob, I know you've seen this man wrestle. You can't tell me you have never seen him wrestle before. I know you've seen him, but because he actually wrestles in Philadelphia. He's based in Philadelphia and everything. So I know you probably seen him. Kathy, I don't know if you've seen him too, but if you did, yeah, the man is just phenomenal. So that's gonna be my number nine pick. And my last pick is actually a man, Leroy. I know you know this guy. You can't tell me you don't know this guy. Is a man who actually recently graduated, well, not recently, a couple of months ago, graduated from the Nightmare Factory. I'm talking about Cody Chun or Cody Chun. Great guy, definitely hardworking in the ring, definitely has a future in wrestling. That's my 10th pick. So, onward to the ladies. Rob, Kathy, I got a feeling I know who you're gonna pick. Who at least one or two of your picks are. Rob, I know I got a good fan. I know who one of your picks is too, but we'll see. Kathy, go ahead.
All right, top 10 women AEW should sign. Number one, she's been on AEW. She's actually one of the few people that have pulled double duty, showing up on WWE and AEW in the same night. Kayla Sparks. Number two, she's the mother effing king, Kylan King. She's been on AEW before. So picked her. She's been on our show before too. So has Kayla. Number three, she's been on AEW also. I think it was AEW Dark, if I'm not mistaken, or she might have been on Dynamite too. High on. She's the current Raw Diamonds champion, and I think she'd do well with wrestling with the women. Number four, is her arch enemy and has shown up on she's been on at least AEW Dark as far as I know because I've seen her live. Rachel Rose. She's appeared in WWE. She had a good year last year. Appeared in AEW, WWE, and Impact all in the same year. Number 5, she's been taking it to Jade Cargill lately, and she had 2 shots at her. And they need to sign her. Like, why keep having her if they're not going to sign her? Vert Vixen. She's been on our show as well. So love me some Vert. Number 6 recently just got 2 shiny new belts. She's down in Texas. She's been a guest on our show. I went with Misty Marks. Think she'd be a good fit in the mix there. Number 7 used to wrestle for Impact. I'm not sure if she still does, but she would if she would be signed to AEW, she'd make a good stable with Abaddon in that whole, like not weirdo, but I guess creepiness. Went with Sue Young. Number 8, at the time we did these lists, we've been trying to do this show before. Number 8, she's been on AEW, but I'd almost like put them together because now they're a tag team. Went with Gigi Ray, and I'd say honorable mention would be her tag team partner Lady Bird Monroe, because they've been tag teaming and making a tear across Texas and everywhere else, and I saw they will end up in CCW in July. So that's pretty awesome. Number 9 goes with the whole Abaddon Sue Young. If they made a faction, it would be really cool. We also had her on our show. She was really creepy and creeped Rob out. I think she creeped all of us out. And Mother Endless is my number 9. And last but not least, number 10. She's been on AEW before a few times. She also wrestles in NWA, so I don't know if it counts, but I guess it. I mean, it does count because I mean, Matt Cardona's in other federations. Besides, he's in NWA, he's in Impact, so he's still an indie wrestler, and she's the same. We've had her on the show too, and she's one of my favorites. Maddie Rankowski is my number 10.
Awesome. Okay. Rob, how about you, man? Who you got?
All right. Now for my 10, Kathy actually said 2 names that were, I have written down too, and also, we're 2 for 2, I guess. You know what I mean? So those 2 names are Kyla Sparks and Kylan King. Yeah, you had to pick them because, yeah, I mean, Kayla Sparks, you know what I mean? Yeah, double duty. She did the Rick Rude, AEW, WWE same night and stuff. You know what I mean? Plus, she's a good friend of mine. So I gotta pick her. And then Kylan King, yeah, the effing King. She's awesome. Everywhere she goes, she's dominating. She's winning belts everywhere. All right, next I got is Officer Erica Lee. She's been on AEW and stuff a couple times. I don't know if you ever seen her around. She is hilarious. When she's on AEW Dark, she was the one up there. Everybody's like, "What is this woman doing?" She's up there going like honk 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 honk. That's what she does. You know what I mean? She is hilarious. She's great. I love her. Uh, Next, I'm gonna go with Roxy Boricua. You know what I mean? We've had her on here. She goes out, she tears it up. You know what I mean? I love watching her matches whenever she posts something or I see one coming up. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna watch that. I'm gonna check it out. Next up, I have Megan Bain. She's recently come back from, I think she had she hurt her knee or something. She's coming back. You know what I mean? She's gonna be at CCW this in March, and yeah, I don't even know what else to say about her. She just goes out there and dominates and stuff. You know what I mean? If you ever seen her, yeah, she's a star. She's a star. Next, I have Shaza McKenzie. I've met her before and stuff. She's like, yeah, goes out there, tears up everywhere she goes. She's a winner. She just, does it all. I have Vita Von Star next. I mean, yeah, she does great in the ring, and not only that, she was, in circus and stuff before me. I always make fun of her. I mean, she's in that Blue Man Group, Circus du Soleil. I mean, all that good stuff. Yeah. So she can pull out the moves. She can get a crowd hype. I mean, yeah, that's her. Next, I got She-Hulk. I think she's just coming back from having her kid, her child, and then she's getting back into the swing of things. And yeah, I love seeing big, powerful, athletic women out there going out there doing their thing. You know what I mean? So I'm all for that. Next, I got Catalina Garcia. She's actually been on our show before. I think she was on NXT for a little bit, and she got released or whatever. But she's awesome. I got to meet her at CCW. She also gifted us. I don't know if you can see, one of these. She autographed the pick shirt for us. You know what I mean? So we put it up there. So I gotta put her on there. I gotta show her, show her some love. And then last but not least, of course, I'm gonna say the Renegade Twins. Like, how well if I didn't, Mama Renegade would beat me, and then Charlotte and then Robin would jump in and then beat me up too. So yeah, I gotta mention them. You know what I mean? They're just everywhere they go, they're tearing it up. They're like the next big thing, and yeah, I wish them nothing but the best. So there's my list, and I hope they all get to make it and all that.
Awesome. That's a great list. Like I said, great minds think alike. Because for my list, the Renegade Twins are actually my first one. Leroy, I know you're smiling right now. I'm like, yeah, you're damn right. You should have them on the show. I mean, they should sign them. Because I mean, you work with them. You've worked with them closely numerous times down there at Nightmare Factory. But yeah, my first pick are actually Charlotte and Robin, the Renegade Twins. These are two of the most hardworking women in professional wrestling, and I'm very glad for their success. They've been inaugural champs for 3 times. Actually, they were the first ever CCW tag team champs, the first ever, the first ever Mission Pro Wrestling tag team champions, the first ever UWW. I don't know what their names. I think it might be United Women's Wrestling, but they're over in California. They were the first. They were the inaugural champions for that company, and they recently etched their name in NWA history by winning the women's tag team titles over there as well. Congrats to that as well. Um, they're two impressive women, and we're glad to have them on the show. Hopefully, we can have them back. I won't have to talk to their agent about yeah, we'll do lunch and whatnot and talk about it. So, but either way, if we don't have them back, we're still glad for them because we like to see people work hard and um, get rewarded for it. My second, um, my second team is actually a team that, yeah, Leroy, you're right. Don't play with Mama Renegade. I wouldn't, and I met Papa Renegade too. Dude looks like a wrestler, man. I'm like, geez, man. Like, I'd be like, yo, man, if you're a wrestler, I'll buy whatever 8x10 or shirt you got. Just don't kill me, man. And he got the beard too. Like, he looked menacing. I'm like, yeah, I'm good. I don't want no smoke with them unless they got a barbecue and they're offering me a plate. Then I'll definitely take that kind of smoke. Um, so my next pick is actually another tag team, and Kathy, you just mentioned them. Two women that are actually doing it right. They decided to be like, hey, you know something? We work better as a tag team, and it's actually worked out because they recently made their appearance on AEW, and yes, they will be at the CCW Capital Cup tournament, and it wouldn't surprise me if they won. And we hope we can have them on the show real soon. And I'm gonna say this right now. Um, the Renegade Twins might want to watch out for them because these two are definitely looking pretty good. I'm talking about Gigi Ray and Lady Bird Monroe, the Money Birds. Two great women coming together to form one hell of a force. And yeah, it's I got a feeling that some tag team belts are going to be won very soon. My third pick is actually a woman out of Canada who was impressive against Athena. I think the next time they meet, it's not going to be the same for Athena because she had that aggression. She didn't care if Athena was a superstar. Like, she was going toe to toe with her, and she also has 17. Apparently, she has 17 years, from what I heard, of wrestling experience. Jody Threat, out of Canada. She's definitely one that should be um, looked at as well. Hope, and I wouldn't mind seeing her get hired as well too. The fifth one is another one that you, Rob, and I actually picked, and I'm talking about Vita Von Star. She would be a great pick. She has that circus strong style, and I could imagine how her unorthodox ring style can definitely throw off her opponent, and that would definitely be a great thing to see on a large stage. My next um my next pick is actually another tag team. I know I'm sorry about that, but I couldn't pick one without having the other. I'm talking about the women that actually ended the Renegade Twins' year-long reign as CCW Tag Team Champions, the Good Sisters, aka the Goons of Scenic City, Lizzie Blair and Peyton Blair, who are also identical twins as well too. And let me tell you, those women are very hard hitting. They do not play. They will leave you badly bruised and broken in that ring if you don't watch yourself. So that's my number six pick. My number seven pick is a woman who actually cracks me up every day, and I hope she's watching. If you're watching, thank you for giving us daily jokes. I like them, and man, keep doing what you're doing. You're doing great. I'm talking about Lara Frazier, who we had on the show from over in California. I remember one time she had a joke where she said there was a certain film that starts with P and ends with Orn that revolutionized the film industry. And then she was like, popcorn. No, she said it was a certain thing that revolutionized the film industry that started with P and ends with Orn. And when you think it's one thing, she's like, popcorn. And I'm like, you got me again. Keep it up, Larry. You're really good. My eighth pick is actually a woman who remember how I told y'all that I picked one half of the Neon Blondes and it was Facade? My eighth pick is the other half, who's a female, and also I believe his wife, a woman by the name of Danny Moe, who's made several appearances on WB and also AEW as well. And she also teamed with Kayla Sparks on one of those episodes of Raw. So she's my number eight pick. My number nine pick is a woman who is another hardworking lady, and man, she is definitely wowing everybody everywhere she goes. I'm talking about Trisha Dora. I got to see her at Battle Club Pro. I got to see her at the last CCW show last month, and man, she is hella impressive. My last pick for this show, for this for my list for the female wrestlers, is a woman who I don't believe many people know of her, but she wrestles a lot. She wrestles hardcore matches too. And if this woman gets into AEW, faces Jade Cargill, and it happens to be a hardcore match, I'm sorry, Jade is going to be in a lot of trouble. She's not going to want that smoke because this woman is crazy. I'm talking about Sawyer Wreck, who wrestles out of the Midwest. If you haven't seen her, check her out before. She actually had a classic hardcore match with Kylan King, and they've also been tag team partners. And I believe they also wrestle as a they also wrestle as a tag team called the Overreact. Well, Kylan King said they're called the Overreactors. So I think she either wrestles out of Midwest or she wrestles out of Florida. According to CageMatch.net, they say she was trained by the Dudleys, and Kylan King trained there too. So either way, wherever she wrestles out of, she is very impressive, and I would like to see her get hired by AEW. So with that being said, um, those are our top 10 picks. Um, y'all both had Kathy, Rob. Y'all both had great lists. It was very good. A lot of impressive people, and yeah, hopefully, this year we get to see either more of them in AEW, or we get to actually see Mother Endless is all elite, Kayla Sparks is all elite, or whichever else, the Renegade Twins, all elite. Definitely would not mind seeing that. I'll be smiling ear to ear. But with that being said, y'all have anything else to say? Any last words to say? Nothing? Catherine, I know you got something to
Nah,
say.
I think I'm good.
Kathy, how about you?
Was thinking of like honorable mentions, just thinking of people. Killa Kate would be one. She's in WoW though right now too, but I mean Vert is too. And Heather Monroe would be good. Another one. And
Okay.
that was just all while we were doing the show. Just I was like, oh, could have put those, but
Mhm.
honorable mention. And Nasty Leroy, we should have put him too. You know, now we all feel bad because he said, "Hey, add me," and we didn't. But here you go. Like he'll be honorable mention. We'll add Nasty Leroy to the list.
Man, nasty man. You know you gotta you know it's all love over here, man. You know what I'm saying? It's all love. Tell you what, when I get to Atlanta, man, first round's on me, man. Definitely. But yeah, so with that being said, it's about time for us to wrap this up. For those of y'all that have your own picks, by all means, feel free to leave them, in our comment section, whether it's YouTube, Twitter, or our Facebook group. Definitely, feel free to say who you think AEW should hire as well too, and no judgment here. Everybody has their own opinion and whatnot. So, with that being said, it's about that time to shut this show down. Eyes are getting heavy. My stomach is grumbling. That means it's time for a nap and dinner. Maybe not in that order, but before I partake in those activities, Kathy Knight, CEO of Ringside Society. Man, that has like a nice ring to it. Kathy Knight, CEO of Ringside Society. I know you're smiling right now. You earned it though. Uh, where can fans find you on social media when they want to talk wrestling? Check out all things Becky Lynch and Paige and all that good stuff.
So I'm on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Twitch, and Discord, all at BLUE70517.
Cool. Rob Bass, the Bubba Ray to my D1, the Eminem to my Proof, or Royce the 5'9", and the Tommy to my Ghost. Where can fans find you on social media when they want to find out where your next appearances, purchase Rob Bass merchandise, and where can bookers and promoters find you when they want to book you for their shows?
Now you can find me on Twitter, Instagram at Rob underscore base 82, and then Facebook Rob Base. And then March 11th, you can catch me at Houston, Delaware, 1CW, CCW. We got a show going on. CCW, they got the Battle for the Throne thing. They got a Battle Royal going on. They got title matches. On our side, 1CW, we got a street fight for the championship. Sean Carlson versus Ty Awesome. We have a race for the case. It's a ladder match. Whoever gets the case first gets the championship shot at any title they want in 1CW. AK Wellis versus Jason Andrews for the 1CW Bulletproof Championship. That's going to be going on. So, yeah, stay tuned for more matchups or whatever. We're definitely going to blow the roof off the place in the house.
Awesome. Yeah, I'll definitely check out those two shows. You get two shows for the price of one ticket, and you get to see a lot of great wrestling there. So if you're in Houston or any of the surrounding areas, definitely head on over to CCW and 1CW. Matter of fact, CCW has a battle royal, I believe, in this show. So you get to
Mm-hmm.
see a lot of wrestlers in the ring too. So definitely don't want to miss out on that. And
It's
with
going to be
that being
packed back there. Woo! Whenever we have battle royals, man, it's packed in the locker room.
yeah, it's gonna be it's,
It's wall
it's
to wall.
I could only imagine. But if y'all want to find me on social media, not that I say a lot of cool stuff, but I do go to a lot of cool places now these days. Just came back from Seattle. You can definitely find me on Twitter and Instagram at the Remy Blue. You can also find me on Facebook under the alias Remy Blue. And our podcast is, of course, also on social media. We're on Twitter and Instagram at Ringside Society, Twitch at Ringside Society 2019. We're on Facebook as a Facebook group. We're also on Spotify and Teespring, where we sell official Ringside Society merchandise. We have T-shirts, we have tank tops, we have long sleeve shirts, we have hoodies, we even have pillows and coffee mugs for your favorite warm beverage. And also, we have different designs too as well. For those of y'all that have been watching the show, you've seen me wearing the our first one. But we also have the Valentine's Day themed one, which is actually this one right here. Yes, we know Valentine's was almost 2 weeks ago, but it's still February, and you can still show some love. So go ahead and cop some, Ringside Society merchandise. All proceeds go back into keeping our show afloat. They do not go back into our pockets as well. And last but not least, we also have a YouTube channel. We have a lot of cool episodes like this one. like the one we had with the top 10, best trios in pro wrestling, and also cool interviews like the one we had with the Big Boss Man's daughter, Lacey Trailer, and also Soraya Knight and Derek Shaw from the Pacific Northwest, and many other great men and women in professional wrestling. So definitely just go on YouTube, type in Ringside Society, and once you see that really handsome dark blue and light blue yin yang some of the blue flames around it, that's when you know it's us. So make sure you subscribe to all of our videos because we got a lot of cool stuff coming up, and you don't want to miss a thing like Smith in 1998. As a matter of fact, Rob Bass, tell the people who we got this Tuesday, man. Tell them I'm excited.
Oh, this Tuesday, man, we got a young man who is making a name for himself all along the East Coast, man. He's currently in a tag team for 1CW, the Workhorses, and he's going to make his ESPW debut March 25th. We got none other than the rock and roll star himself, Tiny Tim, a.k.a. Timmer. So, I'm definitely excited for that.
Yeah, so definitely make sure y'all tune in. Check out that interview we have with Time. And with that being said, we just want to thank you by tuning in live tonight. We really and truly appreciate it. Thank you very much. We strive on being one of the best wrestling podcasts a wrestling fan could and should listen to. And to those of y'all that are gonna listen later on, we get a chance. Thank you very much in advance. And those y'all that hate us, can't stand us, really and truly wish we'd go away. Well, like myself at the Gordon Corral, Kathy at Cafe Du Monde for the buy one get one free special. Damn, those things taste good. And Rob Bass at Taco Bell on a Taco Tuesday. We're not going anywhere for a while.
They hate us because they ain't us.
We ain't stopping. With that being said, we just want to let everybody know that we're very well and aware. We're not blind, we're not dumb, we're not deaf either. That everybody and their grandparents and their parents have a podcast. But we're not your grandparents' podcast. We're not your parents' podcast. As a matter of fact, we're not just any podcast. Hashtag we are not the same. With that being said, Rob Bass, Kathy Knight, one time for the mind, one time for the people, one time for the wrestling culture, and one time for our picks that we had tonight.
Woo!
What type of podcast are we?
All right. 3, 2, 1.
For the
For the
Wrestling
Wrestling
Fans
Fans
Podcast.
Podcast.
That's right, with a Wrestling Fans Podcast, Ringside Society. And we'll be back next with another impressive guest on another impressive episode. But until then, we just want y'all to do 4 favors for us. Stay safe, stay healthy, be excellent to each other, and party on, dudes. We out. Peace.
See y'all. Good night. Stay classy, Delaware.
Bye. Let the good times roll, Louisiana.